Where my girls at? Where my girls at? Independent, free spirit. Ooh, it's so serious. Where my girls at? We ain't linked up in a cool minute. Where my girls at? It's going down, down. Where my girls at? It's going down, down. It's going down tonight. We going out tonight. Yeah, right. We going out tonight. It's going down tonight. Yeah, right. It's going down tonight. We going out tonight. Yeah, right. We going out tonight. It's going down tonight. Yeah, right.
Chip, welcome. Happy Wednesday. Thank God for calendar. Sometimes the days just get to rolling together. This is a special day because all four of my girlfriends are here because I'm a girlfriend too. Are you a friend of yourself? Okay. My three girlfriends. And y'all, we have been together for 30 plus years. Can you believe it? Doing life, doing love, doing the world, travel, just so many amazing things. And it has been a joy to come to you Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. On 9:10 a.m. the Superstation. We got issues, and when I tell you, you will laugh, you will cry, you will laugh at us, you will laugh with us, because we got issues. Like we got issues. Speak for yourself. I got issues. It is such so exciting to be here with you today because it's a beautiful day here in California. I mean, can you believe it? It's still 82 degrees. This is the time you're like, is it fall? When is it coming? I got long sleeves on, but you know, if I got to go outside, I got to change my top because I'm ready to open the windows. Then I open them, then I got to close them back. But no complaints here. It's a blessing. We woke up again today, and it's another great day because when I tell you it's a lot going on in the world, you don't even have to turn the news on. If you got access to anything, you see that folks are talking in every corner of the world. It's a mess going down, and it's the kind of mess that just makes us go, really, 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 really. Oh my gosh. And so today we are going to be talking about something that would never, ever have been a topic of discussion with four women on a radio show that don't have small kids. The Little Doggone Mermaid, y'all. This thing is so controversial. Roland Martin talking about it. It is controversial. People got hot bad about a black girl playing a mermaid because it's not scientifically correct. What? A mermaid. So we're going to talk about it. I'm going to show you the joy in the little girls' faces, and we're going to talk about how crazy it is that people are mad. Okay, did we get mad when we saw the white people playing Jesus, or when we saw Charlton Heston playing Moses? Cleopatra, we love Elizabeth Taylor, but that's not quite what she looked like. So let's talk about it. Okay, let's talk about it. Chris, I'm gonna go to you. You're looking gorgeous. We all have braid envy. One day I'm gonna learn how to put my braids up like that. Okay, your cross is beautiful. You're looking great. Is it fall in Detroit? How you doing today?
I am doing fantastic, excited about this topic. Can't wait to get right at it. It is a fall day here in Michigan. I'm looking out the window. It's been overcast, rainy all day. It's a little windy, but the colors, oh my goodness, the colors are just so beautiful. It makes me want to think I'm a photographer and can go outside and just start taking pictures of all the colors of the trees. And I'm going to tell you, fall is one of my favorite seasons just because of the changing of the leaves and the little crispness that's in the air. You get to pull out your boots and your sweaters. And I know Sabrina and Gloria, like, you can have all that, but that's okay. You know, I absolutely love fall. It is a beautiful season. And so it's a great day. Yes, a lot's going on, but I am so ready to talk about the Little Mermaid. Are you kidding me? Y'all do know that a mermaid is a fictional character. We do know that. Let's start there. Okay, so she could be black, white, green, purple, orange. For real? Back to you,
Mad
Kat.
about it, Chris. They hot mad. They got Facebook groups and everything. So we're gonna talk about it. Gloria, where are you in the world? Still in South
goodness,
America.
talking.
Is that South America?
I'm in South America. I'm in America, but I'm in South America, y'all, where the dollar is strong. The dollar is very strong. It's a great time to travel. It's unfortunate for those countries that are not using the U.S. dollar, but if you're using the U.S. dollar, it's an amazing time. It's really an amazing time. We had a phenomenal lunch today. 5 of us there, less than $100 for an incredible meal. The food is
What?
unbelievable. I mean, unbelievable food. But I have had the best ceviche. I'm like, it's just crazy. It's just really crazy. The people are the nicest ever. I'm outside now, so it's just water over here,
Beautiful.
water over there.
Beautiful.
It's just
Beautiful.
so
Wow.
it's just magnificent. It's just been magnificent. We had like you know how you sit in a restaurant in the storm, you hear the storm coming, but it's not raining, and you step outside. No, we can make it home. And when I tell you, I stepped out of the restaurant, we walked half a block, and then a raindrop hit me, and I thought it was a bomb. I looked at Ken and said, "What is that?" It was, torrential rain, man. We were running. You would have thought I was in third grade. I was tearing up the street, y'all. I was proud of myself, skipping steps 2 by 2, like, oh no, oh no. And then poof, out of nowhere comes the sun, comes the blue sky. What do you call those cruise boats going down? Big. The world is opening up. It really is opening up. Big cruise ships going down there. So I'm excited to get in this topic because I'm not the best at getting topics fast. So let's go. Yeah, I'm ready.
Now, I will say, Gloria, the world is opening up, but oh my gosh, Anthony is leaving for Greece and he's going through Munich. Have y'all heard that Munich had, because of the Oktoberfest, Sabrina, talk about it, the COVID outbreak, they said they can't even guarantee care because what is it? Half of the nurses, the medical staff is out with COVID. It's a new variant, y'all.
Wow.
What you hear, Sabrina?
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not hear about that.
Yeah, I think we we want to be so ready, and the world's opening up. But what I hear is what's going on in Europe is coming this way in the fall. I talked to a friend today in Spain. Sick. A lot of people sick. Schools are shutting down. Half of her kids' teachers are out with COVID, and you guys know what usually happens in Europe comes this way. So I think we got to get it in when we can. Gloria, I'm listening to you. I'm so excited. I'll be in South America next week and can't wait to get there. But I'm just feeling like I've got to go while I can because I don't know how long we will be able to travel. Staying prayerful. And then the dollar, glad that the dollar is strong because 4 of us went to dinner last night and the bill was $500. And so,
That's right.
And so inflation, recession, whatever it is. I don't know. And I looked at Kenny, I was like, it wasn't that good.
Wow.
But,
are you serious?
But the company was amazing. The atmosphere was great. But my goodness, you guys. I just, so I'm excited to be coming to South America next week where the dollar is strong.
Dollar is strong here. I did not hear about the variant. And I'm telling you, you travel around the world and there's parts where everybody's walking around in masks and parts where no one's walking around in masks. So it's very, very interesting. And, there's something to be said about when you're not listening to the news. There's so much that you miss and you go by what you see. And what you see doesn't necessarily tell you what's happening. So,
hey, Sabrina, I have a quick question. Your friends that told you about what's going on in Europe, are they saying that this new variant, are people getting really sick or is it like a cold? Are people being hospitalized? What's going on there?
Well, what I heard is that, and talk about it, Sabrina.
Go ahead. What you heard, and tell you what my friend said. Go ahead, Katrina.
I was going to say that someone mentioned a new variant, but what they said is taking place in Munich is it's not one particular variant, it's a mixture. That's what they said. But they did say that it's happening a month earlier than it happened last year. And that part was the most concerning part. What'd you hear, Sabrina?
Yeah, I'm hearing that nothing, it's a mild, they're mild symptoms, but it's highly contagious. Highly contagious, like
Mm.
hitting the community and spreading like wildfire. I mean, shutting entire schools down. So it's something. I'm like, Lord, well, when will we get out of this thing for real, for real? So um we do have to stay vigilant. And you got one foot in and one foot out. Like I went out today, and in the building that we live in, it's really interesting. A lot of Asian population in our building, and those Asians, they are wearing the mask. They are not out of the mask. They are being vigilant. They're not coming out of the mask, and everybody else is walking around without a mask. And I'm just curious, what do they know that we don't know, or why are they so disciplined with it still? So
But you know what? I got a tickle in my throat the other day, just feeling like, a regular cold and stuff. And I was like, that was one of the benefits of wearing a mask, is just not getting all the other stuff too. That was a big
right,
deal.
yeah,
That's especially when you're in a plane or places where you're just packed in, that's just the
yeah,
real.
yeah.
But it is nice to go shopping. I was shopping in Chicago, and it's nice to be out in those places without, mask 24/7. But y'all, on September 20th, 2022, the Ministry of Health of Uganda officially declared an outbreak of Ebola, caused by the Sudan virus. And they're talking about this Ebola outbreak and what that is looking like. And some of the reports about the Ebola, um, is it now that is, that ain't COVID. That's another whole nother situation. So I've heard some things about that too. We just have to be absolutely prayerful and vigilant, because
Mhm.
that's, and
So
when you put all that
yeah,
in perspective, why are we fighting? Like, why are we fighting? Let's try to stay
right.
alive together. You know what I'm saying? We gotta save the planet. We gotta protect ourselves from viruses, and y'all want to blow up bridges and civilians. And I mean, it's just crazy, totally crazy. And we know why it is: money. Okay, it all boils down to that. So, which is bringing me directly to our topic today before we go to break, because The Little Mermaid is a 1989 American animated musical romantic comedy fantasy adventure film, Walt Disney film. It is loosely based on the 1837 Danish fairy tale of the same name by Hans Christian Andersen, which is where people come from. It was written by by a Dane, I believe is the way you say it. And so now Walt Disney has come out, and the way the trailer is, you don't know that she's Black because you hear her voice and you hear her singing, and then she swims in, and it is just unbelievable. Jalen and Dorothy, can you play as we go to break, the video of the little Black girls' faces? Oh my goodness. For those of you on the radio, you have got to just imagine and hear these little girls, this Black girl magic, and their excitement in seeing a Black face on the screen. Here we go.
I think she's round. Round area. Round area is cute.
Right.
She's black. Oh
my.
my gosh. Dang, she had it in her soul, like she felt it in her spirit.
She's black.
She's Black.
Oh. She's black. She's black. Yes, 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 yes. Oh my God.
Oh my goodness. I know we're going to break. We're going to break. You can let it play for the Facebook audience till the end. We're going to break. We will be right back. We will be right back.
Ariel's a Black girl.
I like the black girl one. Are you kidding me?
I know, right?
She's brown like me.
What, baby?
She's brown like me.
Yeah, she's brown like you.
I'm so excited.
We're gonna go see it when it comes out in the theater.
Yes! You got something like me! It's beautiful! She's like me!
Right?
She's like me! Oh, there's a black mermaid! Oh, darling. I didn't notice that.
Wish I could
Look.
wish I could
What? Yeah. What do you think about that?
So beautiful. Love her nails.
I just cooked this incredible meal, steakhouse. All right, we're back. Today we are talking about the 1989 film, The Little Mermaid. I can't believe it's been that long, and it's been remade. And now in 2022, The Little Mermaid is a Black girl. And we're talking about, oh my gosh, did those faces, I mean, let's just talk about that before I give you some stats. How did that make you feel, seeing that Black girl magic on that screen? And how did it make you feel about how excited they were?
You know what, Katrina? It was just so beautiful to see their eyes light up, to see the big smiles that were on their face, and the sad part, even though it brought joy, there was some sadness because of the surprise. I mean, they were like, oh my, it was like unbelievable. And so that part is a little sad, because why should they be surprised to see somebody doing, in 2022 that looks like them? But to see their beautiful faces light up, it was priceless, just priceless.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the
The
truth.
innocence, the innocence of it all. Just, they just, Kenny says all the time, you have to see it to be it. You have to see it to be it. And they were just so grateful to see themselves in the mermaid. I mean, dreams do come true when you can see yourself in that image. And so I just loved their beautiful faces. I just loved the love of seeing the image. It just made my heart flutter. But like Chris, it's disappointing that they are so surprised. And my friend is listening on and logging in, Lisa Elstrom, my Princeton University parent mama. And she says it's long overdue, and it is long overdue.
I mean, listen to these stats. It was actually, I enjoyed doing this research for this show because a lot of people have really looked into this. We know and really can understand the difference images make. And today, white people represent 76% of the US population. Meanwhile, in 2018, there were more children's books with animals and other non-human main characters than there were Black, Indigenous people, and other people of color. 50% of all children's books feature white main characters, according to the Children's Book Center. Then there's a large segment that feature animals. It says a book is 4 times more likely to have a dinosaur on the cover or in the book, or a rabbit, than a person of color. That's crazy. According to Tufts University, they said, I mean, is that like unbelievable when you listen to this? By frequently exposing our kids to a disproportionate number of white protagonists, we are supporting white supremacy. Despite our multicultural society, children grow up in a world defined by racial segregation and class inequity, which dictates their neighbors, friends, and classmates. When our children see only white characters as the main character, it limits their ability to empathize. Without intervention, this lack of empathy and racial myopia, probably said that incorrectly, may lead to an increased willingness to pathologize, punish, and support policies that negatively impact our children. I mean, it is so deep. So before we get into the conversation, we're going to go to video number 2. This is from my favorite app, TikTok. Boy, I saw that black girl magic. But I said, let me go in and look at it. And let's see what folks were talking about on Facebook, y'all. Facebook groups. I promise you, okay? You got to protect your heart, Gloria, because we got to keep good energy going. But this is the real hatred that exists in the world. So look at this. Hit that second video for me, Jalen.
Yeah, pay attention to this. You gotta hate people. Look. I'm gearing up for the Little Mermaid. What you doing? What is this? What is that? Check this out. The little slave. Why? What we do to you? What we do? Look. What's this? Little Mermaid got some watermelon there. Where did you see the neck? Look at this. Read it. Look at this shit. Look at it. Newports. And it got Doug Little Mermaid. Yeah, pay attention to this. You got.
Wow. That. So that's it. It you can cut it for me, Jalen. I mean, when you see that, let's just go right to the third one, so you can cue that up in just a second as soon as Dorothy's ready for it. And then we're just going to talk about it. I mean, y'all, those were Facebook groups. That was a Facebook group. Multiple ones. I went and I searched it on Facebook. And of course, you know what happens. They start them up and then a lot of them got taken down or they got made private or something, because it was, it's just crazy. But let's play that third one. What Calvin Michael, he says it best, Little Mermaid backlash. And he actually researched this. So we're going to play a little bit of that. So go ahead and hit it for me. And I'll tell you.
YouTubers. Or to be honest, I don't know how peaceful this video is going to be. Sometimes the piece is a little limited depending on the subject matter. We'll see where it goes. But for the sake of my sanity and just for some clarification purposes, let me just ask. So y'all are still mad. Like, still mad. Like, not even just mad, because mad was 3 or 4 years ago when they announced this movie and said that Halle Bailey was going to be playing Ariel. That was mad, and y'all fussed and complained. I think we made a video about it, and I thought time had moved on and folks had made their peace with it. But then I look on social media, and you would have thought the world ended. Like, you would have thought Mountain Dew went out of business the way folks was acting. And so, I had been minding my what's left of the summer business, and I happened to be on social media, and I saw that the trailer had been released, or at least some kind of sneak peek or a snippet, and it shows Halle Bailey singing one of the songs from the movie. She sounds amazing. Voice of an angel. When I saw it, I was like, yes, this movie's perfect for her. The kids are really going to love this. This is going to be a really good one. And, mainly the backlash is the fact that people feel that the actress playing Ariel should be white. They don't want it to be they don't want it to be Halle Bailey because she's black, and they made a whole hoopla about it. And so, once the trailer came out, it was like all hell broke loose on social media, and people start writing dissertations and think pieces, and there's all this rage, and folks are literally just enraged and just pissed off, and they're gonna boycott. And I'm done with Disney. I'm just done. This is it. I'm done. And I'm just like, it's so interesting because folks will run around and parade all day about how colorblind they are. And mind you, there's a conversation to be had about colorblind anyway. That's another issue I have with folks. But anyway, folks will claim to be colorblind all day. Oh, we all bleed the same. We're all human. Oh, content of our character. They love that Martin Luther King line. That's the one line everybody know. You know what I mean? But then it's kind of like that Bone Thugs and Harmony song Crossroads. Folks don't know what they're saying for most of the verses, but everybody has down the Miss My Uncle Charles y'all line. That's the one line they got. That's how folks are when it comes to Martin Luther King. When racist folks need to justify something, they will throw in the Martin Luther King line. But anyway, folks are colorblind all day until the color shows up. Then they get to seething and shaking and just losing it. I'm like, are y'all good? And so, yeah, folks are still pissed about this movie. And really, it's to the point where you have people with editing software that have gone and literally edited the trailer to make Halle Bailey appear as a white woman, or made different edits. See how much better it looks already. Even the color is more vibrant. I'm just like, y'all are some terrible people. Y'all are some terrible people. You know what I mean? And really, I wasn't even gonna make a video about this until I saw that people had been harassing Halle Bailey online and stalking her social media. Even the YouTube trailer, like there's like millions of dislikes on it. I'm like, you people are loony as hell. Like of all the things that I just can't. And it's so funny because folks are like, no, this is going to ruin our childhood. It's going to ruin our innocence. It's going to ruin what we have. And I'm like, y'all got like 859 princesses. I think Black folks got one? And she had to be a frog. And hell, I remember watching the movie, like I think 5 minutes in, she turned into a frog. I went to get some popcorn and I came back and she was hopping. I was like, wait, I don't even think I got to see her wear the princess dress and spin around. She did one song and she was hopping. And mind you, like I said, I think they had her wearing some rags or something. She was looking like the help. I said, okay, well, this is the one movie we gonna get. And they didn't even make that one 3D. That was like 2D. They said, we ain't about to spend no money on that here. This is what y'all get, keep it moving. And so it's so interesting. Folks are like seething about this. And it just goes to show, like, folks cannot stand when Black folks are happy, or when Black folks celebrate anything, when Black folks get it. Like, there's certain things they don't like. Folks get mad when Black folks are having fun. They get mad when Black folks get something that folks think Black people don't deserve, because again, people are in this space where they think they are authoritative figures and can decipher and determine what it is that people deserve, right? And they really can't stand when Black folks don't care about something that they're passionate about. Kind of like when the Queen died. You know what I mean? Like, folks were very livid and irate because there were a lot of people in the Black community that weren't super pressed about the Queen. It's kind of like, okay, it's sad that people lose a relative here and there, but what y'all want us to do? Like, that whole monarchy represents literally everything wrong with the world. You know what I mean?
I mean, he said it. We know that we know this is not everyone. But why should it be anyone? Why should anyone post The Little Mermaid is a traditional Danish tale, 100% European white only culture. Stop stealing our culture. What?
Oh my God. Stop stealing our culture. Okay, so I know that this is not this show, but you know what? I mean, when you look around and you see a lot of people that aren't of our culture, and you see their lips are fuller than your lips, and both your parents are Black, when you look around and you see butts that are bigger than your butt, and I remember back in the day, oh my God, that was a negative to have a booty. Oh, that's a Black girl's booty. Now you go and stand in line. Don't think you know the identity of the person standing in line, or getting tans and whatnot. So I know this is another subject, but when you talk about Black women, we're going to a break.
Yes, okay, we're hot. We can go into a break. We're going to a break. Hi, Kenny. Hi, Kenny Monday. For the Facebook audience, for the radio audience, we just got a little glimpse of the gold medalist himself. We will be right back. We got lots to talk about. This is definitely a time for you to call in 313-778-7600. Tell us what your thoughts about what they said online about The Little Mermaid. We'll be right back. All right, all right. Yep. That's exactly what I think. I think you should hang up on people when they talk crazy. Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us and being a part of our daily radio show Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time with the Force of Friendship on We Got
Sabrina.
Issues. Today we are talking about the reaction to the Little Mermaid, the beautiful reactions and the challenging reactions. And I just want, of course, we always keep it real. We bring you really what's happening out there, but we also always want to talk about solutions too. So girlfriends, how do we, I know one thing I'm gonna tell people to do: go to her, go to Halle Bailey, to her Facebook and give her some love. Go to Disney and let talk to Disney and thank them for this movie. Post those pictures. One of the things, social media, we know Disney is for profit, but we also know that they respond to what is taking place out there in the world. So who wants to chime in? Who wants to chime in?
You know
Go
what?
ahead,
I
Gloria.
just want to add this. I think that your point is really well taken, Katrina, about what can we do positively. But I also want to say that it's important for us to recognize the space of white supremacists here, why they can gather so much, why they can do groups. That's not just one or two people. Those are people that are spreading hate in various different areas over and over again. Every time I see that tape, and I've seen it a lot of times about those little girls, this big smile comes on my face. It's just so much joy. But then you understand what they're up against, how much of it is out there, how much of it has been let go in the last couple of to make it okay. And so there's a piece about those who have gathered together, and every single second they can do something together to empower their point of white supremacists. It just comes at different ways. And so we can't stay away from that term, because that also lets you know that we're not all feeling that way. All white people, all black people, all Asian people, everybody not feeling that way. But there is a very loud, powerful, free group that is growing, because they're not, there's no fear for them. There's no backlash for them. There's no responsibility for them. And, we just have to point that out, because until we continue to confront it as a group, they can appear like it's some over here and some over here and some over here, but it's not a little bit of some. It is a big, powerful group of people who are okay with being loud about it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Absolutely. It perpetuates it over and over. I don't know how many of you have watched Tyler Perry's movie Jazzman's Blues. I watched it while we were in Chicago, and I had my mom watch it last night, and it's just a great movie. And at the end of the movie, I said, "Mom, what do you think?" She said, "Well, it's real." And so that was about back then. And so this is about continuing that white supremacy, starting with the babies. I went to a camp that we were considering renting for an event, and the guy who toured the camp had this really cute little white girl, and she was running around with a black doll who was chocolate. I mean, just chocolate black, and she was carrying her like it was her baby, and she knew nothing. Like she was indifferent to it. She was taking care of her like it was her baby. And I had to, when I got alone with them, I had to give him a shout out and say, kudos to you. I mean, it shouldn't be a big deal, but that's a big deal. You always see black kids with white dolls, but I never have seen white kids with black dolls like that. You just don't see it. And so just unbelievable, but you have to be conscious. I know the grandchildren are coming, and Gloria, do you guys talk about it with grandboys about consciously just how you make sure there's enough characters in front of them? It's not easy.
Yeah, it is a conversation. It's a conversation. And it's easier to have the conversation when there's a 16-year-old all the way down to a 4-year-old, because they're very conscious of it. And their mother is very much aware. And then from, a Puerto Rican black family, we talk about it. It's part of the conversation. And it's a free conversation, because we're very clear where they don't want to get caught by surprise. Chauncey's very aware, so, living in Detroit gives them a piece living in Atlanta, where you live really has a whole lot to do with the representation of what they see, the representation of who they love, the representation of who's their role models. And that was very intentional as well. So yeah, it is part of the conversation, and it has to continue to be part of the conversation. But the other thing that's very important, Katrina, that you're bringing this up, is it's always been part of our conversation. That's the issue. There's some people that have it as a conversation like it's new, and then there's some people that, this has always been steeped in their conversation. We're getting ready for Thanksgiving, and we know it's steeped into our conversation. So that's a big part of that. That's a great question.
I mean, honestly, for me in California, Sabrina, it's one of the things I told you why I love the DMV so much, because I mean, just going to the mall, it's like being in Africa or being in Bahamas. I mean, I just have loved being in the Bahamas, and you go to the mall and you go in the jewelry store and the person selling you diamonds is black, and the person at the, at the car dealership is black. I know you guys got to experience that where you grew up, but in California, like, I didn't know anybody black who owned anything. It's just sad. I didn't,
Yeah.
So what does that do to you? I was blessed, even though I went to a white college, to get with people that were woke and introduced me to HBCUs and to other ways. But, I kind of thought we were different. I didn't see other middle class, even in my own family. I didn't see other middle class and other role models that were black. So never had a black teacher until college. It's just, it's a real situation. So Sabrina, I know you got a lot to say about it.
I do.
Wait, let's talk about this. You didn't have a black who was in college?
And that was an ethnic studies teacher, the only one.
Wow.
It's the only black teacher I've ever had.
Sometimes you need to talk about that, Katrina, because that is so far from my reality. That's so far from my reality that people live in an environment where they had no black deposits into their life by black role models, like none, like zero. That's a whole nother show. I'm sorry.
For real. Go ahead, Sabrina.
Well, Katrina, we want to congratulate you because we're not sure how you're our girlfriend. Okay, we're not sure how you're our girlfriend, but you made it through, sister. You made it through. You found your way, and we're glad about that. But just this situation, you guys, we're talking a freaking mermaid here. People are this upset about a mermaid? Are you kidding me? The inherent racism that's running rampant in this country, when we see it at a mermaid level, is infuriating. It really is, but it's real. And so I think, in this divided states of America where we live right now, the best way, like you said, we have to be as loud about, we're grateful that Disney had the wherewithal to give us a mermaid of color. I'm very proud that my daughter works for an imprint for Penguin Random House. Her imprint, Okila Books, they only feature marginalized people, authors, illustrators, editors. There's an entire imprint, just, book section just for, and so every book is about a person of color. And so I think we need to support those books. We need to support those publishers who give us that. We need to support these movie houses who are giving us something different. And as loud as these people are on Facebook with those groups, we need groups saying, right on, way to go, great job. And we've got to get to the movie theaters and tell them that, they did the right thing. And we need to make sure that they are successful at the box office. I just, I don't know.
And you know what someone said, I believe it was on the Roland Martin show, it said, let's be clear, this is the movie. We don't own Disney. We don't own, it wasn't black dollars that backed this. And so it's just a character that is not necessarily pouring money into our communities. And so it's why it's so important for you to be at the table at every part of entertainment and all of the different industries in the world, so that we can, write our own narrative. It's so important.
Katrina, let me add also to the conversation, I remember when Kiera was just a little girl, and I remember her having sleepovers with her girlfriends and wanting to watch movies about, little girls. And the most that they could watch was the Olsen twins. And of course, you know who the Olsen twins
Right.
are. All of these movies, and I can remember Kiera watched it 101 times. I can remember some of the other movies that she watched. None of them, absolutely none, had a main character that looked like her. Even in the whole story of the movies, there was no Black girls in there, period. And so I just think, I know we're going to break. I'll finish my comment after the break.
Yep. I'm gonna go right to you when we come back. Donna Ray Jones says, now that you mentioned it, I didn't have Black teachers in any of my education. If I did, it was only one. Wow. It's the reality. It's the reality that must be changed. We'll be right back. All right, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, you guys. Thanks for joining in for the final segment of our show today, Wednesday. Make sure you tune back in every day, Monday through Friday, because we always got something to say about what everybody's saying. Okay, we got lots to say about what people are saying. And so my husband, Anthony, tuned in from Charlotte, North Carolina. When I talked about the not having a black teacher, he said, "Gloria, your eyes, keep them in your head." And then he had the audacity to say, "I'm not even sure how I am his wife." For real, the brother from Chicago meets the chick from Fremont, California, with no black teachers, but black role models so important. Can you play that final segment, Roland Martin? It's just a couple minutes from the Roland Martin show, and we're going to talk about the last piece here before we go.
There is negative. Here are some of the folks that are upset that Disney cast a black woman to play a mermaid. We have Kaiser, who says The Little Mermaid is a traditional Danish tale, 100% European culture. Stop stealing others, like Pinocchio Italian, Lord of the Rings British. Even Game of Thrones is based on European. In fact, 98% of Disney classics are stolen European stories. This is so stupid. Anyway, so Matt Walsh says it isn't scientific to have a black mermaid.
All right, Max Winter says, a black actor playing the Little Mermaid really is a case of white erasure. All forms of art, including fairy tales, are meant to be reflections of the author's experiences and observations. Hans Christian Andersen probably based the Little Mermaid based on experiences he went through in his home country of Denmark. So it makes sense that most of his characters would be white, since that's the world and the people he was surrounded by. Yeah, I'm given the way that we deal with these sorts of issues, I'm sympathetic to that. Now, I would be fine, like we talked about yesterday. We don't have to rehash the entire thing, but if we all agreed that race in films and TV shows, especially fictional stories, don't matter, and we're going to take a kind of colorblind casting approach, and it doesn't matter as long as the actor is good. If we could all agree on that, then I'd be on board. And as I said, that's basically what it was for many years, what it was back in the 90s. But what I cannot abide by is the double standard thing where we say, well, in casting matters only for certain races and not for others. No, we're not doing that.
Okay.
Also, by the way, with The Little Mermaid, can
you believe that? Scientific. I mean, my giggling is not because it's funny. It's because that's just my reaction when people say stupid stuff. Scientific.
Katrina, yeah. And just to finish my thought before the break, I mean, do you know how many years little black girls had no black role models, and all they had to look at were Caucasian girls having fun and living their life? And they had to, look at them, and nobody at the sleepover looked like anybody in the movie. But that's all that we had to show them. And so we did. And it just gets my blood boiling when the majority that have always had movies, especially for their kids that look like them, that when I don't want to say get thrown a bone, it's like you would think that the world is coming to an end. Again, it's not as if a mermaid is a real life thing. It's a fictional character. So, I could go on and on, but, it's just so sad that even if you had a black girl who went to a predominantly white school and she was invited over to a sleepover, 9 times out of 10, whatever movie they're showing them are not going to have anybody that looks like her. So we're always sometimes just left out, and our young girls and young boys don't get to see characters that look like them, that are the star of the movie, not, second or third with 2 or 3 little roles. So, I could go on and on. So I'll stop there, because seriously, this really gets me hot when I think about,
we're so excited. My sorority already is renting out the movie theater for Wakanda. We love The Woman King, but those are not children's stories. We're talking about being able to sit with your child, open up a book, watch a cartoon. How about the video games they're playing? The things, I mean, I stayed over 2 extra days in Chicago to be with my 2 grand boys that were visiting from Arizona. And you're constantly leaning over and listening to what they're looking at. And every time I lean over, I just very rarely see a Black character on their screen, because they are constantly being bombarded. We always had TV, but it's the number of images they see now is probably, who knows, probably 10,000 times what we saw, because we weren't in front of the TV all the time.
Right. Thank God for movies like Akilah and a Bee. I mean, oh, that's one of my favorite movies when it comes to Black children being represented as being smart. So let me just give a shout out. If your child has not seen Akilah and a Bee, rent it tomorrow. Pull it up. Fabulous movie.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Lisa, Sabrina's girlfriend in the chat said, and many of these people complaining also believe Jesus is white, geographically from the Middle East and white. I mean, we've seen that. The number of characters, it's not, why should it even be an issue? It just should not even be an issue. But a Nigerian author gave a TED talk about the danger of a single story. Stories matter. Stories have been used to dispossess and malign, but stories can also be used to empower and humanize. Stories can break the dignity of people, but stories can also repair that broken dignity. As educators, we have the power to introduce our students to stories and characters that either enhance or harm their identity, development, self-esteem, sense of empathy, and overall worldview. It's just so important. And I find that, I know that this is not, not only about socioeconomics, but it just seems like when people become educated and you travel the world and you realize, first of all, there's more brown people in the world than anything.
Come on.
I mean, when you just see a global perspective, get out of your little neck of the woods. The whole world does not, I mean, it just gets me going when people talk about inflation. It's a Democratic problem. Y'all, it's inflation all over the world. Okay. I mean, it's just, people just don't have a global perspective. And it's just so important for us to not be so concerned about, to not want to empower all children and to see it's not a melting pot. Everyone needs to be able to stand alone and see themselves culturally represented. It's so important. I'm not trying to melt. Okay. It's not. And if you did melt Black with anything else, the Black's going to stand out more. Okay. Let's just keep it clear. If you want to melt it. Okay. Vanilla ice cream is not white. Vanilla is Black. Okay. But somebody decided it couldn't be that good and be Black. It had to be white. That's another conversation for another day. Yeah, we're hot. We are leaving here. We are choosing happy. But this right here would have me protesting. Okay. Thank you, Disney. I will see the movie. I will blow up her social media, and I challenge you to do that as well. We are so grateful for seeing this character on the screen. We will be back tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.